before moving into the justice houses, I had an interest and a passion for social justice. As a social work major, I really had an interest in helping people and standing up for people, standing up for what I believe in. And over the course of the years of living in the justice houses, taking the courses, I learned a lot more, and my education grew, my passion grew, and everything flourished moving forward.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. I definitely learned how to put, what we feel, what we believe in into action, and I didn't realize just like the level, because I feel like living in the houses you could see like an entire spectrum of how people believe in kind of the same interests. So like we're all passionate about social justice, but some are more passionate about certain areas than others, and I kind of saw that my passion for environmental justice grew a bit too, and how I just love pointing out corruption. I never realized how much I would love that, but I do. And it's everywhere. I don't know. So that was really cool to like see, and a part of living in the houses just made me realize like there are so many different types of people there, and a big thing that I learned in the houses is how to really, I don't want to say, how do I say, work with people, or like get along with people, get to know people, but then like be able to balance out, my relationship when I work with them versus just hanging out with them. Knowing boundaries, respecting boundaries, my own, other people's, and I feel like that's a big part of working with other people, and I never took that into consideration. When we talk about big movements, they're just so big, and we, always recognize big names like Civil Rights Movement, Martin Luther King Jr. There were a lot more people to that movement than, we could ever realize, and they must have been a really strong, united force. And I think throughout both semesters we learned and saw the process of trying to get there, and I think I know how to recognize, and I think going forward I know the steps to be more unified and stronger when we all have a task and a goal, like the sustainability fair, which ended up really great. So that was awesome.
And along with that too, like I think based on what Bella was saying, like I think we also learned like peace and respect, and the amount of work that it goes into being an activist, and amount of like effort that it actually takes to stand up for what you believe in, because it's not as easy as it may seem to other people, and even the smallest amount of things makes a difference and matters. Mm-hmm. And even something like the sustainability fair, like you talked about, like that made a difference to me because we reached out to people, we got our word out, we stood up for what we believed in, we stood up against this asphalt plant that is trying to pollute our air. And environmental justice is something that I've flourished in and I've learned about, and I think too, like all these justices have grown in my education, and by taking this class, by living in these houses, by talking and understanding other people's perspectives and respecting them for what they believe in. And even if it might not be the same as what I believe in, it's about standing up for what you believe in, but also respecting other people for their beliefs too. And I really enjoy other people's perspectives, and I think taking this class has really allowed me to take that leap and learn about what other people have to say, which is really awesome.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, like respect for others and justice, how we define it, I kind of Googled it for like a little reference, and it's just like just actions taking place to like right or wrong out of genuine respect for other people. And I never realized how much respect it takes for not only to have in yourself and for others to work with them to really gain that, to really be as successful as possible, to gain respect and that ultimate goal to maybe encourage the entire community and people to get involved in respecting, like for example, the environment around us, and making sure we don't let things like the asphalt plant happen to our environment because we respect it too much. We live in it. We want to protect the people involved. We're all in the same community, and the only way we can accomplish things like that is if we work together as a strong, united community. So I never realized how much respect is really involved in that, and cooperation. So that was really cool.
And the houses really, I feel in my personal experience, is a strong, united community, and I feel like it's like its own little start for being activists on campus. Mm-hmm. One of the readings that I really liked was the Black Revolution on Campus reading that we talked about, and I liked learning about that unification that they all had, that solidarity, that everyone coming together and standing up for what they believe in, and joining and uniting in that front. And that's something that I really enjoy seeing in the houses as well, like with the Black Lives Matter movement, and everyone who supports that, it's come together, and you find that solidarity, and it's on such a mass spread length that it's beautiful to see, honestly, so many people standing up for that movement. And that was one of my favorite readings from the course.
Yeah, and I loved being a part of the candle vigil that we had on campus. I think my favorite reading was Malm, and like learning about the climate movement that was a global movement, and just reading and learning about some of the things they did, even as simple as Fridays for Freedom, something like that. That was such a huge movement. And we all know how Greta Thunberg is amazing, but we doubt ourselves a lot, and we don't even realize that she is like a 13. She is insanely incredible, and she got like a mass like not following, oh my gosh, but you know what I mean. Like, it was a very strong community front that spread worldwide. We could be a part of something like that. If anything, we could start our own movement like that. Wouldn't that be cool to be like the next Greta Thunberg? It was just amazing to read about, and just like open my mind, and maybe it kind of shattered some of those doubts for me, especially those self-doubts. That's a lot where that self-respect comes from too, and you learn how to really focus on that when you have like a bigger goal that you want to achieve with other people.
And these readings and taking these classes and like learning about all these things has really, I feel like, equipped us to be out in the world and be activists when we're not just at Niagara anymore, and we're standing up for people's rights out in the world, and it's a real thing. And I think it's so important that we start here, and we learn how to do it, and what works and what doesn't, and we try different things, and we read about people's successes, and we base our own success off that, and we move forward and stand up for what we believe in, and we find justice in that. And I personally feel equipped to be able to do that, but I also feel like there's always more to learn. There's always more that we can experience and educate ourselves on, and try, and I'm ready to do that.
Me too. I absolutely agree.
Yes.